Thank you. All right, good afternoon and welcome to the Market Crop Production and WASDE briefing. My name is Joe Parsons. I serve as the chair of the Ag Statistics Board here at USDA's National Ag Statistics. This briefing is for the Secretary of Agriculture and other policymakers at USDA to better understand the content and context of today's reports. We're very pleased to welcome Dr. Seth Meyer, USDA's Chief Economist, as our Secretary Designate today, and I also want to make sure and welcome Dr. Cindy Nickerson, USDA Deputy Economist. Dr. Meyer, I want to share that we have had Florida State Statistician Mr. Mark Hudson in to help us on parts of the report. He'll be back in a moment. I have a few notes for our live streaming audience. The crop production WASDE reports are considered principal federal economic indicator reports. The Office of Management Budget provides specific guidance on how these important reports are to be released. OMB statistical policy instructs policy-making officials to refrain from making public comment on the reports within 1 hour of their release. We'll not be taking questions during this briefing from the public. However, NASS and World Board staff are available for email or phone questions, and NASS will host a social media event 1 hour after the release of these data. We strive to have everything presented at this briefing match the official record. However, should there be any discrepancy between what is presented at this briefing and the published estimates, always refer to the official published estimates. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Lance Honig, Chief of the NASS Crops Branch. He'll be immediately followed by Dr. Mark Jekanowski, Chair of the World Ag Outlook Board. Lance?
All right, thank you, Joe. Good afternoon. Welcome to the briefing. Welcome to all those watching on the live stream here as well. As you know, March is again one of our shorter reports, so I'll move through things fairly quickly.
Based on the road count survey, that 40%. So basically, pretty much that. Florida, and so because of that, the primary information on that utilization index. Why? That's 46. Not unless you decide certainly worth really right. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the updated statistics forecast this month. So as usual in March, we've got everything open in Florida and the Valencia appointments. Forward from the previous forecast based on previous forecast last month. It was a big drop last year. I'm doing 40 there. Basically, the change of the orders $100,000. In Florida, we don't say on the adjustment. So effectively, not really paying no change on the Valencia side of 24. So you can pretty much adjust there. If you look at the big picture though, and how there overnight the finder, pretty nasty. 36, 37 season. Our breakout by Valencia is non-Valencia going goes back to about the 1930s. Non-blessed is actually lowest 64. Blessed is the lowest total count. But again, the credit got home. 30s. From Florida perspective, again, we'll call it about 55 to 56. And the smallest non-blessed is about the smallest. So very low. Looking at the grapefruit crop, we don't really have 328,000 tons. That's about 1.2% from last month. That's based on 100,000 tons in Florida. And there's no utilization rate there. Everything is anywhere else. Here, no change to lemons, we carry that forecast. No change there as well. But overall, there's a decrease there. Under promise. The only other drop we have on that. Here on the paper side. Season, especially up 3 counties. Here, we're down 1.1% on the yield forecast. Acre, this is 6.3% above that year still. That's primarily driven by Louisiana. A small increases in Florida, Texas, only a month of the month. Down. So overall, you can see that 7 tons there, down 1% based on that yield from last month. Season. Just a few slides here again, this up to this period up in over the next month. And what the impact as it is after public and month was on the last day of livestock as well. And then I get them back. Mighty watching out there, census of agriculture still going on. There's still back and forth. Very important. In addition to that, taking out the whole, it will be higher than when it's online. Registration is open. 5 years before. Lots of things there. Something else. That's that series. Last slide that I have to be today. This month hasn't been as one of the meetings. We're gonna start out today with also later on. The first one focus on is there's only so many ways you can drive it back.
And you'll recall prior to the February laws, we did get a little precipitation there. So we started to look really a little bit better. And right out again. Precipitation, storm loss, and it's been hot as well. 35 degrees. All 35 degrees. Remember that March and is kind of equivalent to September here in the US. The days well in the upper 90s, longer their seasons, hot and dry. Soil moisture is very low as well. The conditions are warm. And importantly, they don't look like they're going to be. So this is just right of all forecasts. It is suggesting below normal precipitation going forward. And it's also forecasters showing hot weather. Well, this year is just a snapshot of the forecast for March 16. You can see there are many as well. So hot, dry, continuing hot, dry. So we made pretty substantial cuts in before. Starting out soybeans, cut ours have been cut to 8 million tons. That would be a 25% year-over-year reduction. This for soybeans that's in both area of Europe cut this month, driven mainly by so looking at the balance sheet, again, production change dominated by the no supplies. Trust forecast to be reduced as well. That is mainly two things. One, of course, Argentina, given higher supplies there, and also longer production. As a total use down the trade up overall and bad for flags. Higher exports to Brazil and the US. Offset by lower exports. Expect well. Ending stocks down, that's the lowest stocks, Argentina, Brazil, and the US, offset by higher stocks. US balance sheet, some small adjustments this month, obviously not kind of design. Crush forecasted this month is mainly reflecting the don't demand, possibly reflecting on price. Lower. Export forecast raised 25 million bushels. That reflects relatively strong sales to date and a fairly late start to Brazil's. That's not what they need to capture some of those sales. So raise that forecast. Resulting ending stocks by bushels this month down 210 million bushels. That's the lowest level ending stocks. Still change just real quick, soybean oil. Just want to put this up to point out our. We made another large cut to the soybean oil forecast. Just pretty remarkable if you look at the year decline in soybean oil exports, and we even just reached the relative very low soybean oil export forecast. High U.S. prices, strong U.S. demand, resulting in lower export. So now let's talk about corn. Also, big cut here in Argentina. Cut unit corn production is 7 million tons. Down to 40 million, that would be the lowest since 2017, 28. Crop year, that's 19% reduction year over year. So again, that dominates the global production need. Raised India's production that was 36.4 million. That would be a record year. That's based on government data. Local balance sheet for corn. Beginning stocks actually carrying a little bit higher than we were showing last month. This is reflecting some, primarily reflecting some bad year for the Middle East, Brazil's exports. Dairy supplies a little bit, production down, again dominated by Argentina with some offset increases in production by Uruguay. Pig is down 2.2 million tons. That reflects a wide number of imported countries that tightening supplies, generally tightening global supplies. Corn trade down. That's mainly lower exports out of Argentina in the U.S. offset by higher exports. Offset partially offset by higher exports to India, Ukraine. We've raised our Ukraine foreign export forecast to million. It's now at 23.5. Ending stocks up a bit, that is the higher stocks in the U.S. U.S. corn balance sheet this month. Only change there you see is a reduction for our export forecast by 75 million. And as you know, I mean, typically we have a window from about January to March for U.S. representatives. And despite relatively limited prices this year, the exports haven't faced with expectations, and recent sales have also been low, relatively slow. So just achieve our current export forecast, we have to reduce the export forecast at this point, just like they're relatively lower than expected. After that, prices are relatively high. Average market price reduced. Now moving into wheat, all of these global production changes are based on new data. Production rates based on 400,000 tons. Australia raised 9 tons. That would be the greatest record for Australia production. Kazakhstan also increased 2.4 million tons based on data. And India increased as well based on government data. Although we are still not quite as high as it. With balance sheet, beginning stocks, variant stocks will be tightened up this month based on mainly on last year. So supplies tightening up, carrying production. We talked about nearly offsetting stocks, changes to 5.1 million tons higher this month. Feed use up a bit. That's mainly higher Kazakhstan. Totally some kind of masked in this balance sheet is food use. We raised food use today. Much of that increase in food use. Trade up million tons. That is mainly higher exports out of Australia, Brazil, and Kazakhstan, offset by lower exports by lower. Ending stocks down to this month, they would it's No change to the US food balance sheet, given, my class. Just worth noting that, census trade data for January is out today, so, yeah, wasn't incorporated, obviously, incorporated May, so, rice, growing rice production, again, all these changes, based largely on unallocated government data. Brazil, down a bit based on WAOB, information Australia. That's an increase based, area changes, increase based on acres. And, but the big one is one that will pop up is India, raised our production, forecast by 70 billion tons. That is a big increase. Worth noting, for perspective, that increase this month is larger than the entire US. But profit is there 5.1 billion tons. The rates can be and this is based, largely based on India's segment estimates of data. And importantly, it entirely reflects the increase in the run. And you know this is all based on 2 million rice production seasons in India. Yeah, brick crop, which accounts for about 70% of production. Rabi crop, smaller to 30% of production. Excuse me, and showing the main growing regions for the Rabi crop. These regions receive excellent rainfall during the growing season. Reservoir levels were excellent, and given the reservoir levels, harvest by for rice. And this is driven by an area increase for that Rabi, pushing India's rice production for the current year, and its Rabi crop which will soon be harvested. The total 2022-2023 rice production forecast 130. That would be 7. So balance sheet for rice global. Again, it's mainly really almost entirely inventory. Talk about production, obviously, 7 million change dominates the production. Total use, that's also mainly in India. Good use in India. Trade of 800,000. That is, well, again, largely India. Increase in India is by 1 million tons, offset by lower export. Ending stocks of this one that's still down year over year. China and India out of new one. U.S. balance sheet is more getting relatively also is just and 3 million hundredweight. We lowered long grain 2 million and medium short 1 million. So we're now just fractionally moderate. Next nearest lowest export year would be 86, 7. People were told here, no change in the average market price. Moving to cotton, a couple more changes. I know we're going to change to global cotton production. Australian production out again. This is based on an area increase. Industry data and survey showing higher land area in Australia. And then we're going to focus a little bit on China, like we did last month. China, we raised their production forecast again based on their flash news data. For all last month, the flash data was picked up. That's continues with the good month. So we raised their production forecast based on that. India, the opposite story. That arrival data continues to come bit slow, so we reduced production forecast by and we have to see an increase there that is also based on government data. So just real quick, China, again, this was the pattern of last month. China's production forecast. You'll remember classing started out very slow, suggesting that the crop was low, but in fact, it was more likely driven by delay, given the lockdown, especially in the region. Now those classing is going on, and they continue relatively high, but continue relatively forecast. So that crop again. It's turning out a lot bigger than we expected based on the initial review of the last data. Global balance sheet for cotton. Beginning stocks up a bit again. Back here, mainly reflecting some historical adjustments to in China. Last year. We reduced global consumption again this month. Trade down as well. This month, just relatively soft and importers over time. And you'll see there China's ending stocks this month as well. Lower consumption and U.S. cotton balance sheet, no changes this month. But worth noting that you did get final in the forecast. We could have made some things in production, but that aligned pretty nicely with our current forecast. So no changes for production based on that. And export forecast seems to be in line. Moving into sugar, sugar, as you know, is kind of a fairly important month for sugar, given the fact that we get back to 13.5% stock use ratio. But before we get there, let's talk a little bit about the production rate of forecast for OPC. Worth noting, especially for wheat, very strong recovery rate for wheat. Sugar recovery, likely record recovery in the Red River Valley area. That's driving an increase in production. Imports down, that's mainly reflecting reduction in Mexico's imports, which again, talk about after the stock use ratio. High tier imports up a bit, based on recent case. Domestic deliveries for the U.S. also rates based on pace, and as you know, given the fact that use ratio is the Mexico import forecast makes that balance. That's why we're going a fairly sharp reduction in our Mexico import forecast from Mexico this month, and now in Mexico, we also made some pretty important changes on the production side. Basically, we had a process previously expected, mainly reflecting lower yields. Not really a major weather event point to lower yields. Likely are lower the lack of inputs, high at the time. Regardless, that crop is as quality as expected. Tightening up technical supplies. Reduced their domestic use to 223,000 metric tons, and it is mainly a reduction in their IMAX program. And then the exports, 147,000 tons, again, obviously that mainly reflects lower exports to the US, given our reduction in imports of that. So on to livestock and dairy, beef production, beef production up again a bit. This month to raise the beef production 170 million pounds, mainly reflecting again, it's kind of the same story as it's done quite a while. More cattle, lots getting pulled forward. First quarter, lots and also 4 pounds. So, kind of continuing the story, more evidence that beef supplies are likely tightening up into here that goes at one. Pork production lowered 25 million pounds, and mainly reflecting case here, so higher increase in slaughter case offset by lighter slaughter case. For broiler and turkey production raised this month. Looking at the slaughter case and also aggregator for the first quarter, giving us reason to pretty tough to forecast. And then with pricing, with regard to prices, steer prices raised $2.75 hundredweight. This month, observed prices and given the fact that we have relative high supply and strong demand, for those prices higher. On prices on your hand, reduced 75 cents. That reflects a $2 per hundredweight reduction in the first quarter, $1 hundredweight reduction in the second quarter. So most of that, really all this changes is reduction in the first half of the year. Broiler prices raised 30 cents per pound, and that basically reflects an increase of 1 cent per pound. Meat trade here, no pop up here either. Again, no in this sense trade in the area we didn't have, so we really want to get far ahead of that anyway. This is like keep a more serious update next month, but we're telling you forecast and reflects high U.S. prices. So the price is good. So dairy. Main thing to talk about here is an increase in and that reflects mass higher output raised our how inventory there trying to get higher forecast. And then in terms of import exports, not too much going on in there, right? There that makes the import fit reflecting some products. Consolidated exports lower based on lower import content by milk and products, but overall pretty small changes, fairly small updates here. And then finally, with dairy product prices, again, relatively small changes. Pull back our the feed price forecast based on observed relatively soft demand. They also dry away again observed prices, strong demand there. Fairly negligible changes on the other products. Last 3 prices now. Class 3 again, that mainly reflects their own feeds price forecast, and then class 4 prices up a bit, primarily reflecting slight increases in butter and non-fat dry milk prices. Chart here, and then all milk price down again this month, 25 cents, weight to $20. that is all I have for you. Find it here, questions. Thank you all for attending, everyone joining online. Hope that I was able to provide some perspective to WASDE numbers we announced about an hour ago, and we'll see you back here next month.